I want to use this opportunity on Conversation Alley to give you an explanation for why things are so bad in Austin when it comes to traffic. And it's really like why the drivers are so terrible. Let me turn the air down a little bit. Okay, so here we are at a driveway, and you can look right, you see a cyclist on the sidewalk, and you look left, and you see parked cars. The problem is there's an island right there. And if you pay attention to that island, there's something unique about it. As I'm trying to pull out, I look left, I look right, it looks clear. You still can't see any oncoming cars. You're not actually seeing a direct path to traffic. The traffic's being spread into the, behind the parked cars. So you have to be like extra super cautious when you do this, and it gets even better than that, right? So you pull out, and this island basically creates blind spots to traffic. And then you have speed bumps that you can hardly see. And then they do it on either side of the intersection. So here's the intersection, they do one there, and this is like random in Austin, but you see there's speed bumps right here. And you notice these speed bumps have like gaps. By the way, that gap is there so that a fire truck can go over them without using the speed bumps. A Chrysler 300 can too. Luckily, I can actually clear it. But this is just one of the things that they have in Austin where the traffic is just, like, people drive like slow morons because cars come out of nowhere based on the fact that these little islands are made to slow people down, but it actually creates accidents. And then there's a little bike lane there, but there's also a speed bump to separate the traffic from the bike lane. I don't know if you could see it, but people can hit it because it's not visible. So I'll make this right turn. It's right there. I don't even know if you can see it. But that's basically what happens here in Austin. That's what creates bad drivers. They mess around with the road to slow it down or make it worse for some reason, and it's just a difficult city to get around because of that. And this is just one example. There are probably other examples. I'm just too lazy to drive through Austin and show you them. Welcome to this edition of Conversation Alley. It's going to be a quick one here, and that's because all I want to really talk about is leather cleaner and the conditioner and stuff. And it's real quick. There's a lot of info out there, and a lot of people have their preferences. There's stuff I still haven't tried, but I've tried a lot. And I'll give you an example. Griots, whatever you want to call them, leather 3-in-1. It's actually pretty good, has a very good leather smell, but so does Optimum leather protectant. Although this one's kind of greasy, and this one is a 3-in-1, and people have their preferences. I would rather not work and slave away all day on vacuum, clean, wipe, protect, wipe. There's another one in here, which is pretty damn good, and that's Sonax leather foam. You've seen my Audi A4 video on it. It's more like a BMW leather smell. All of these will have some sort of a paraffin wax on them, which is kind of the point of a protectant or conditions and protects. You'll see that they say that. This one doesn't say it anywhere here, blah, blah, blah. Silicon-free, maintain appearance. Basically, I have more too, by the way. I also have Lexol, which was really good on the Mercedes AMGs with their Napa leather. And there might be more in here too. There's obviously more Lexol. But what I want to get to is the point. I also have Leather Eek, by the way. I have Leather Eek. That's expensive. And that's for good stuff. Semi-aniline type stuff like in an Infiniti QX80. What else is there? Leather Masters. This is actually really good. Leather Vital. I had an old Mercedes, and this really rejuvenated and restored it. So as you can tell, I also have Zano. I have Zano 9 and 10. 10's in here somewhere. I also have Einzet leather care, and this is also BMW-like, although it's a weird scent. Basically, out of all of these products, I bought more, and that's going to be over here. Pardon me when I go down in here and grab it. This is the Mopar Care Kit. And you'll see here it says Total Clean, and then there's a conditioner protectant for leather and vinyl. Glass cleaner, yeah, that's glass cleaner. So I'm going to try this now. And I probably know what you're thinking. You're thinking, damn, Brian, that's a lot of leather care product. And I know, I understand. To me, it's a lot like anti-aging cream or something, or, you know, the proverbial men's version of it. But I've had so many different vehicles and I've tried out so many different products. I've purchased all of these as well. These are not like tester items or gifts or anything. So all I do know is that they all do work in different ways. These are the most leather-like scents as opposed from the Zano. So the Zano one has more of a, I don't know, it's weird. It smells like a freshly sharpened pencil more than it smells like leather. It sounds weird, but that's kind of what I think. And then overall, you know, this is a 3-in-1, so it's kind of all done at one shot. And then some of these require you to buff them off. And it really depends on what your time constraints are and how much work you want to do, or how badly the seats need to be cared for, depending on whether you bought a used car or maybe your girlfriend's car is filthy or something. There are different ways, different products, and the most important step here, though, is once you've done all the cleaning, you have to throw on a layer of this kind of paraffin wax kind of stuff so that it absorbs and repels and is easy to wipe off when you're ready to clean it again. It takes the hit before the leather coating takes the hit. Next, I'm going to show in the next vlog thing Optimum No Rinse. I actually buy it by the gallon. I've got plenty of it, and it only takes a 4-gallon bucket, and I use really thick microfiber towels. So I'm going to do a video on that eventually, because I will clean a car in this state in the garage. There are some tips I have, and I'll show you that next if you're interested in an upcoming video, because obviously it's filthy. And now I have a low battery. Oh, I just got a text. Anyway, I already have noticed that this leather, obviously I knew it was going to get dirty right away, and it does. It shows signs of dirt, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. I can clean it up easily. The thing is, I tried Lexol and I cleaned it and then I conditioned it, and it's been about 2 days, and it kind of had like a tacky feel, and it still does. You can hear that past the gardeners. Anyway, the way it works is this. Leather on new cars or modern cars, anything past the 90s basically, is coated. So there is a sort of a lacquer on them, and that lacquer has micro perforations or ways for the leather to breathe, so moisture can go in and out to the leather, but at the same time it protects the leather. And what you want to make sure there's no dirt on the leather, and the leather stays free of oils and salts, because you don't want to break down the composition of the protective layer. Now, in a case of a car like this with white leather, what you want to do in there is keep it clean, but then use a protectant or something with a paraffin wax in it. Well, you can get one of these if you'd like. They all have wax. They all have some sort of wax in there, okay? And that wax is basically, see, this also says protects, see? And what that wax does is that creates the sacrificial layer. That's the layer on top of that urethane coating, let's just call it, or the varnish, or whatever you want to call that layer. That wax then absorbs all the moisture from you and all the dye from your jeans. That wax protects the leather coating so that it's easier to clean later, and that's the point. Having a white leather interior isn't such a bad deal if you are on top of it, but also if you use the right product to coat it to keep it maintained. So tonight, I'm going to give it a quick wipe down, get that Lexol off of it, and try the Mopar one, and I'll let you know how it goes. Here's the finished product. I actually used Total Clean on this, and these are brand new seats. I mean, this car is only 2 weeks old, but they're definitely devoid of all the Lexol conditioner now. You can see the grain, how smooth this is, And oh yeah, very clean. Well, it's still new, so it should be clean. But in addition to that, I didn't put the leather protectant on there yet, but these are just going to dry off for tonight. And then I will try with the protectant. Now the Total Clean can actually be used on the dash and everything else. So it's a multi-purpose / all-purpose cleaner. But you can see here in the lighting, even on the steering wheel, everything looks pretty good. So happy there. And of course the armrest does get dirty, but you can see in the stitching, the Lexol darkened the stitching a little bit, and it's a little lighter here. The lighting in my garage is kind of terrible, but this should be a good idea. So Total Clean works. And this Napa leather doesn't seem to be the same coating as the Napa leather on a Mercedes AMG, for instance. So that's why I have so many different products. Lexol's okay. Lexol gets a little tacky all over. And we'll find a conditioner that is pretty smooth and not oily and gross. I don't like shiny leather. It should stay like this. Everything should look like this forever. Smells great too. And if you have any questions, let me know. This is my real quick podcast style video for everybody everyone probably needs to clean their leather at some point. So now's a good time. Go and do it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you want to see more videos, I have a lot of playlists out there for the best cars I've driven, the worst cars I've driven, some by brands, manual transmissions, road trips. Check it out. And as always, thumbs up, like, comment. I read everything and I appreciate it. See you later.